Assalamu alaikum, everybody. This is our podcast, Hoping for Heaven. Our special guest today is Teacher Faiz. Teacher, this is episode will be about poverty.
Okay.
What do you think are the effects of food insecurity on children's cognitive development?
I mean, let's face it, children need their nutrients, the vitamins, basically just carbs, for example. Children need this in order to assist their cognitive development. Doesn't mean they can't develop without all of it. Sorry, if without all of it, they won't really develop. However, with some of it, they will still develop. You need to be able to have a decent amount of nutrition to benefit your health, your well-being, and that includes your cognitive behavioral development as well.
Teacher, what do you think is the most challenging aspect of living in poverty?
Probably the most challenging aspect of living in poverty is the constant mental torment of how do I get out of it. That's what I believe probably is the worst part of living in poverty.
So having a good mental mindset would be...
No, not necessarily, because once you're in the poverty window as such, once you're in that category, your whole mindset is just always going to be how do I make myself better, how do I do it. But it depends on your circumstances whether you're able to actually exit that poverty category. Some people unfortunately will never be able to exit it because they don't have the ability to do so because the means are not there. But in my opinion, the worst thing is probably going to be how do I get out of this, and it just becomes a vicious cycle.
Teacher, what are your experiences with poverty? If you have them?
For example, in my hometown, there's a number of homeless people, and in my neighbouring town in Manchester, there's a number of homeless people. So I have friends who feed the homeless, who feed the needy. Poverty has become such a thing, especially within the UK, where normal people are now needing, and I say normal, people who you never assume would need to use food banks are now using food banks to help keep their families alive. So it's become a big thing in the UK.
But teacher, if somebody could tell you, most people, they give out charity, صح? When they give the charity, it's seen in the studies that even if you give enough money to very large amounts of money, they will spend it and they will not help themselves.
You can't tarnish everybody with the same brush. If I gave you, for example, $1 million riyals, you're going to spend it differently to our cameraman Rakam. So it depends on the person you're giving it to. You can't say everybody does the same thing. So I don't agree with that statement.
So how do you think our government, not only our government, the whole government, the whole world, all of them, do you think they're doing enough or even anything to battle poverty?
Are they doing anything? Yes. Are they doing enough? No. Plain and simple.
What do you think?
Every single government is not doing enough to rid poverty, because otherwise we could work together to completely eradicate it, and we haven't done that.
So what do you think they should do?
There needs to be better funding allocations. There needs to be more care taken in where funds are going. There needs to be more care in terms of how the funds are distributed. So there's a whole bunch of things that we don't have enough time to go into, but it's not just the one thing.
Teacher, I know you've been traveling, so you worked in many places, so you know how different governments battle poverty. Which government do you think has done the best job?
So far, I couldn't say.
It doesn't have to be the best one, just in your opinion.
No, every place I've been to has done different things. So I can't honestly pick one and say this is the best, because each one has been focusing on different things. I don't believe any of my governments that I've seen, that I've lived in or whatever, have done enough. So.
Alhamdulillah on everything. Thank you, teacher, for your time. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. Massive.